Everybody, and welcome back to Alex Elliott Golf, and welcome to the channel if you're a brand new viewer. Don't forget to subscribe and give all this content a thumbs up. So just to let you know, going forward in 2019 we're going to have different months which mean different things that are going to help you improve your golf game in different aspects. So for example, we're going to have a fitness month, we're going to have a shot shaping month, we're going to have a training game month. They're just the kind of outlook on what we're going to be happening in 2019 on Alex Elliott Golf. But today we're going to talk about how we can generate some more clubhead speed with our driver, and generally my best 3 ways and 3 drills which will help you do this. If you look at all the guys in the European Tour and PGA Tour now, we can see there's a really big onus on hitting this ball a long way, according to strokes gained on the PGA Tour and on the European Tour. So if we could kind of adopt this same mentality in our own game, then hopefully we can apply that theory of strokes gained and see our handicap come down. So strokes gained basically says if you can get it basically closer to the green, you're better, as long as you're not kind of in a shot where you can't actually advance the ball to the green, than if you were to be a little bit further back and on the fairway. So ultimately, the guys who hit it a long way are generally seeing over a tournament probably half a shot advantage over the rest of the field. And if we actually have a look at kind of your likes of Bubba Watson, Cameron Champ, and all these kind of long hitters, as they come into impact, they form this kind of squatting motion, and almost they're using this ground, releasing all this kind of what we call kind of pressure and force with the ground just pre-impact, and let it all go out onto the golf ball and down to the golf course. It's kind of the golf swing's changed over the years. Over the years it used to be like, okay, we've got to be balanced and this and that, but now it's all about how far can we hit it and what's our proximity to the hole from that. So like I said, if we analyse the kind of top players on tour now, we'd see this motion from the top as we get to the top of the backswing, this squatting motion, forces using the ground, and as we get into impact, all these forces are released and let go in order to hit the ball a long way. So if we can do some drills that are going to help us, 1, transfer a bit of weight, 2, use the ground and understand how to use it a little bit better, we can see this ball hopefully travel a little bit further. But what I would really like to importantly note, okay, these guys are athletes who are playing on the European Tour and PGA Tour week in, week out. They do this with balance. What the key thing here is we actually add some yards to your golf game, but we don't sacrifice balance, and we don't sacrifice too much dispersion, because sometimes we get a lot of people doing this and their ball may go off a little bit. But what I'd do is I'd treat this as a training exercise on the driving range, which will help us train for the golf course. Like I say, if we were training here, we wanted to improve our clubhead speed, and we were constantly, say, swinging at 100 miles an hour, and we constantly did that, we'd only ever kind of swing at 100 miles an hour on the range, and probably when we get on the golf course, actually swing a little bit slower. So my theory is, if we swing at 100 now, let's train to swing it for 105, and then if we train to swing it for 105 on the range, that might form kind of 102, 103 on the golf course. So that kind of old theory, if we train harder, then hopefully in performance, if we match it, perfect, but if we don't quite, we're only just below that. So that is the theory of what these tips are going to be based on today. So I'm going to hit my first drive here. I generally kind of range with my driver between 108 to 111. I'd like to get it a little bit faster than that, definitely, but I find it very hard. So if I hit this first one down here now, then we'll have a look at the numbers. Nice drive, a little fade, 110. 110 swing speed, so kind of right in where I'd expect it to be. So these drills and tips now, we're going to talk about 3 different ones that are going to help me, in a drill format, improve some clubhead speed. And if we get used to swinging that clubhead a little bit faster and balanced, then we can adopt that onto the golf course, hopefully. So the first drill is what I call the kind of the step drill. We're going to stand behind the golf ball, we're going to put our feet together, we're going to step in, take a swing through, step back, and hit it, okay? We're going to get used to feeling like this weight is moving from left to right, right to left, and then back to the golf ball. And a really big transfer, this central pressure. So imagine our pressure, it moves into the right, into the left, and hits this one away. So the first one now, let me show you that again. We're going to go feet together, roughly a foot behind the golf ball. We're going to step over it, swing over the golf ball, swing back, and hit the golf ball down there. So we're getting used to this feeling of momentum, pressure change and weight shift in order to help us move this golf ball a long way. If we kind of categorize a lot of kind of players who play week in, week out on a kind of like your golf club, we'd see kind of this kind of swaying motion, or we'd see this very much a rotary motion. We wouldn't kind of see a combination of them both. So imagine we married them both up, we'd see a good rotation, a nice transfer of weight, and then we'd hopefully hit that ball a little bit further. Now, like we said, this is how we're going to train to do it on the practice ground, not what we do on the golf course. So let's hit this one now. So remember, we had 110 for our first one, so hopefully we'll see a little bit of an increase here. So we're going to do step in to make sure our left foot's right at the correct ball position. We're swinging over, we're swinging back, and we're letting this one go. And we're really going to feel like we're freewheeling this, I like to call it. So let's give this one a go. Hopefully you're going to improve on our 110. Step over, swing through, swing back. So that one there was 112 club head speed. So what I would say is this drill is all about feeling rotation and weight shift all happening together in a free-flowing movement. We're not looking to guide this golf club, we're just looking to let it go as fast as possible. So that's my first tip. So what I'll do is my second one. I want you to kind of think about, this is kind of what I'd call kind of my slow motion tip, but then we put it into a kind of a really fast movement. So if we could kind of adopt that theory that if we could use the ground up, that is exactly what we'd kind of want to do. And this is kind of a tip which is going to help you think about sequencing the body. So what I want you to do is, away from the golf ball to begin with, I want you to grip it. Nice and athletic in your posture to start. We're going to swing to the top. Now, a lot of people that I see to hit the ball a long way, we kind of see this arms move very fast. I want to think about the opposite now. I want you to think about starting from the ground up. So I want you to think in transition now. We're going to start by moving the lower half first, then the upper half, then the arms, and then the golf club comes, okay? So ultimately, if we can sequence this body better and get a good sequencing drill, then we're going to be able to make club head speed happen a little bit easier and more consistently faster. So what I'd do here is I'd have 3 swings. 1 being in gear 1, gear 2 50%, and gear 3 would be really fast, as in as fast as I absolutely dare, but whilst maintaining balance. So we're going to swing to the top, sequence, lower half, upper half, through. Right, gear 2 50%. To the top, lower half, upper half, through. Finally, practice swing as fast as I can. So you notice here, I'm really feeling like I'm using this ground, starting from the ground up, and really feeling like my body is sequenced from lower, upper, arms, then club. It's really important we get this kind of sequence in our head going right, okay? So as fast as I dare now. That was really me feeling that I started with the lower, upper, and then arms. So really feeling like that kinematic sequence is working as best it can. If we can do that, then we can definitely make the most of our club head speed. So now we've got a feeling of what we're trying to try and create. Let's see if we can put this into the golf ball. Remember, we're trying to feel we start lower, upper, arms, okay? Really second drill, this one. Really nice, hit that. Let's see what the numbers say. 112 there, so you can see 2 miles an hour faster than my first drive, but that second drive with that first drill, it was exactly the same. So our step drill, we're feeling weight and pressure move, and then we hit, and then the second one is really feeling like, are we sequencing this body right? So start lower, upper, arms, go. And that's the feeling I want you to try and create in terms of sequencing in general with your driver, in general with all your clubs, but most importantly, if you want to generate some club head speed, the biggest stretch we can create from the lower to the upper, then we're really going to hit this golf ball a long way. So this nicely leads me on to my final kind of tip with driver. And this is my kind of my favourite one. What I want you to do is, now, this is something I've probably done in the gym a few times actually with my trainer. And this is something that I really kind of feel helps me create a really big stretch between the upper half and the lower half of my body. So it's similar to the second drill, but this is kind of one where we try and really feel like we're creating a stretch in order to hit this golf ball a long way. So I want you to feel now, you're going to place this right arm under your left, like so. We're going to swing it to the top. And what I want you to do is, I remember we said before, we start with the lower, and then we follow with the upper half. I want you to feel now, in this position at the top, we really start to work this lower half, and don't let this arm drop. And we really feel like now I'm creating this really big stretch down my lead side. And for me here, this gets me used to this feeling of the lower half moving first, and the upper half following. So what I want you to do is, take it to the kind of next stage of this drill, swing it to the top, stretch it, let it go. And again, because if you feel like you can't move, as soon as we got 2 hands on the club and we can move, we get that feeling of what faster speed is. It's almost like training harder, like we said at the start, and then really applying it into the actual drill, and then hopefully out onto the golf course. So, right on the left, turn to the top, stretch it, lower half trying to move. My feeling here is my belt buckle is really trying to work hard towards the target, and you'll feel it's a hard move. You can hear the change in my voice through to the target. So now I'm going to do 3 of those, and then I'm going to hit the shot. I'm going to see if there's any improvement in club head speed again. The top, feel a stretch, lower, upper, go. Right, so I'm going to try and apply that same theory. I've got that feeling of that stretch I'm trying to create between the lower half and upper half. Let's see if we can apply it into the golf ball now. Number 112 was our fastest club head speed that we had. Can we really make an improvement on that? That's the best of the lot, that for me. 1, it was out the middle, but 2, it actually felt the fastest. Let's see if it was. So 114. So I've actually improved with that drill there, 4 miles an hour difference between my original drive. Yes, it was my first one. That may have a little bit to do with it. But you can see there the progression through each of the drills. We had 2 at 112, then 1 at 114. And for me, the reason why that is, for me, that last one gives me actual feeling which I could take to the golf course. So we've kind of had a transition there. We've had a transition from just a pure driving range drill. Secondly, we've kind of talked about a little bit of a theory and sequencing the body. And thirdly, we've used a drill which we can use to sequence our body in order to hit this golf ball a little bit further and create this bigger stretch between the upper half and lower half in transition and change of direction, which ultimately is going to help us hit this golf ball a little bit further. And if we can increase our club head speed but maintain strike, then we're going to be hitting this golf ball a lot further, seeing a lot more results, and hopefully take a few shots off our handicap. So there you go, guys. There's my top 3 tips to hit the golf ball further with a higher club head speed. Number 1, the step drill. We're stepping onto the golf ball, swinging past, swinging back, hitting it. We're feeling rotation and pressure change throughout. Drill 2 was all about the feeling of starting with the lower half to the upper half, so the sequencing of your body in the drill. The final tip was, can you feel that stretch? Remember, left arm on, right arm under, feeling like you were at the belt buckle, the lower half towards the target. You'll feel the stretch and it'll feel like a really tight stretch and a tight pull, but it's going to give you a really nice feeling like you saw there with me. Straight away I apply it to the golf ball, it feels great. Like we said, if you want to improve club head speed, train hard on the range and then take it to the golf course. Thank you for watching today's video on Alex Elliott Golf, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and give all this content a thumbs up. Thank you, and see you next time on Alex Elliott Golf.